what's up out there, everybody? Happy Saturday. Saturday after Thanksgiving. Um, yeah, a lot, right? Thanksgiving, all that stuff, holidays. They're the holidays. There's good and bad about it. But real quick, you guys, I want to thank you so much for coming in here and just hanging out with me for this little live stream that I do. It's kind of a unique thing out of all the things I do because I can see your comments in real time, like Pablo and Samatha Madhushanka, Arctic Monkey 505. Is that a New Mexico reference there? James Ross, Nicholas Wrong, Don't Want to Be Right, Frank Skridaski, Greg Levinson. Greg Levinson, real quick question. How long have you been watching my videos? Because your name I am so familiar with for years and years and years. And I appreciate your support. Okay, so yes, I'm gonna talk about, since I'm having this Black Friday sale that's not done yet. You can see the pinned comment. Basically, I have a checkout code. It's from martymusic.com courses. All caps, Black Friday 2024, as in 2024, the year that's almost over. So you can go to martymusic.com and pick out any of those courses and use promo code all caps, Black Friday 2024. You'll get 35% off any of those courses. But also, I think, like I said, the most unique thing about the live stream is that you can talk to me in real time and I can interact with you guys. And what I do, it's every Saturday at 1 o'clock Pacific time. I typically pick a topic. Sometimes I have some campaign going on one of my courses. So I'll pick a topic that's related to that course. Right now, it's all my courses are for sale. So I can just hop around a little bit. But basically, every Saturday I pick a topic and it's kind of like a live kind of guitar clinic, you could say. And I just, talk about a topic, kind of usually spend about a half hour doing that. And then when the half hour is done, we just kind of see where we're at. If someone made me grumpy, I'll leave. If I'm enjoying myself and I'm liking the comments and it makes me think of something to do, then I do that as well. Give a shout out here to Matt, who is, you can see he's in the freaking the zone. Yeah. So he's really here.
Real.
He's real. He is looking at the comments as well, just so we can, make sure that happens. Okay, so we've got Matt reading the comments. I've got the sale going on, which is all these different courses. So I'm going to do a straight beginner tip, then maybe a little blues tip, and then maybe a little lead guitar technique tip that would be more like intermediate. So a beginner tip, especially when you're first learning, if you're a straight beginner, you want to learn a few easy single note riffs like... I'll learn a bunch of them. They can just all along the E string. All along the E string. That's a good one-string riff, actually, all along the Watchtower right there. So there's a bunch of those that you can learn if you've never played guitar before. And it just gets you, get your hands on the guitar. None of it's overwhelming. And they're recognizable. So you're also, helping your ear with that. The first riff I ever learned, you can let me know in the comments the first riff you've ever learned. The first riff I ever learned, because I'm old. But right along those... So lots of those riffs. I have YouTube videos that are easy one-string riffs to learn. So that'd be the first thing that I would recommend. Now, if you're super into electric guitar, it'd probably be good to then learn a power chord, which would be like the open, thickest string, and then the second fret on that next string down the A string, and you get stuff like this, like TNT by AC/DC. Taught that one a lot. So there's stuff like that. Oh yeah, and then the classic, it's become a meme now, 035. 035, 0365, 03530. So lots of those little single note things. Now, if you're more interested in acoustic guitar, Hoth Survivor again. Hoth Survivor, thank you for your, Matt, do you see that comment? What's he asking? Because he just gave me $20. Hoth Survivor gave me a super chat.
He's having trouble with the F chord when I'm practicing. What video do I do next? Just finished the beginner lesson playlist.
Wait, say it again?
You just finished your beginner lesson playlist. He's having trouble with the F chord though.
F chord, yeah. Well, if you're having trouble with the F chord, yeah. Start with just the 3-finger F chord, which would be like that, and then eventually you can cover the high E. Eventually you can get the full this one, the bar chord, etc. But start with this 3-finger F chord. 3rd fret on the D, 2nd fret on the G, 1st fret on the B. And if some of the other notes ring out that you don't want to hit, like, that's okay, because it just gets your hand in the right position. So 2 songs right off the bat with the C chord. John Lennon, Imagine. I love when people, no, I don't want to open the can of worms. Something about that song. Okay, so then, No Woman, No Cry, Let It Be. Just, as examples of where that F chord comes from. When you are learning the beginner chords, for instance, the first F chord that you should learn, think of one finger as the anchor point of the chord. So with a C major chord, I want you to think ring finger or 3rd finger on the 3rd fret of the A string for a C chord. Because if you think of that first, it forces your hand to always be in the correct position. And so for the F chord, I would, for the first F chord you should learn, I would do that same thing and think of the 3rd finger on the 3rd fret of the D string. And then get the rest of that chord in place. A really great beginner chord song, and I used to teach it all the time before my YouTube career, which is now going on 17 years. It's really crazy, Matt. Matt, where were you 17 years ago?
Ooh.
You think about it. Think about it. Don't say it yet. So Matt's going to tell me where he was 17 years ago. 17 years ago, I was making YouTube videos. And I was a grown-up, or at least close to a grown-up. Okay, so a great song for a beginner that's more interested in acoustic or trying to learn all the beginner chords. You could say they're the Wonderwall chords, but I will say that they are Boulevard of Broken Dreams by Green Day, E minor, G, D, and A, and now if you try and play that way to the song Boulevard of Broken Dreams, there's actually a capo on the 1st fret, so it's going to be a half step higher. I think YouTube started in around 2005. in 2005, I was a full-time gigging guitar player in bands, original bands and cover bands and solo looper gigs. And then I was a full-time private guitar teacher with as many as close to 100 students in my Rolodex. I've probably taught as many as 50 students in 1 week back then. But then also 20 hours a week. Steady Sunrise with the super chat. Thank you so much. Also, I was teaching 20 hours a week elementary school music. Little kids, just basic music. So I have a relationship with hot cross buns. Okay, so where were you, Matt, 17 years ago?
I would have been starting my high school band. Like
high school rock band?
Playing some Blink-182.
Blink-182?
Yeah.
You loved like Limp Bizkit though, right?
That was younger. I was like.
Oh, you were younger. Okay. Anyway,
Yeah.
so that's what you were doing.
Yep.
Oops. Cool. D chord. Also, when you're learning the beginner chords, form the chord, make sure it sounds right, like a D chord. And then keep the shape and take your hand off and then put it back on. And you'll have to, if you're a beginner, you'll have to make the adjustments. But that helps get that muscle memory. Keep the shape, put it back on. So that's another tip. That's what I would have taught young Matt in 2005.
Yeah.
I would have taught Matt something like that, right? We definitely would have done Boulevard of Broken Dreams. We would have done, oh yeah, Hot Survivor. He's referring to something that is actually what I did, which is I would say I had freeze spray, and I go, make a little sound like it was freezing, a freeze spray that would freeze my fingers. But that was for the young kids. Okay, so those are some good beginner tips. I also have a playlist at my YouTube channel. And by the way, the only YouTube channel I've had for 10 years is Marty Music. Any other YouTube channel, no matter what, if it wasn't posted by Marty Music, it was not posted by me. I was getting into it with someone today about it, and they didn't have the critical thinking skills to understand what I was saying. So anyway, Marty Music's the only thing I've done for 10 years now. Okay, not sticking to that topic, but I have a playlist at Marty Music YouTube channel that is easy beginner acoustic songs, so you can check that out. I have videos like easy single string riffs that you can do as well. Actually, one of my favorite riffs I've done lately is almost a one string riff, Led Zeppelin. No, sorry, that's not true. Led Zeppelin. The thing that you guys don't know right now is I'm in my studio, and it's in the 30s, temperature-wise now. And so Matt and I walked in here about 4 minutes before we were supposed to go live, and it was 30 degrees in here because it's been so hot in the summer all the way up till, the last few days or whatever, that we were only worried about how hot it was. So we walked in here and it was literally in the 30s in here. So it's very cold. But I do have a heater, but we just had to turn it on right before we went live. So it's still, it's working.
It's working.
It's definitely working. It's warming up, but like literally right now still my hands are like freezing cold right now.
Probably reminds you of some old band days playing outside.
Old band days, yeah. Well, my first real, well, I was in a rock band in high school, and that was in Southern California. So that was never cold. But then when I went to college in Santa Fe, New Mexico, and formed a college rock band called Steamroller, shout out to Steamroller. They don't exist anymore, but I'm in touch with everyone from it. And they all still play music and stuff, which is so fun. But it did get cold in Santa Fe. So there were times where, yes, it was very cold. And then I toured in a band. I wrote in one of my emails, and it was a true story. No, I'm in Nashville, guys. It's not San Diego. I'm in Nashville. My studio's in Nashville. But when I toured in the band Wise Monkey Orchestra, to give the full name, that's a San Diego band. We toured, we did really well in the ski towns in Colorado in the winter. So there were definitely some freezing gigs. Like, we played at the bottom of the ski mountain at a few different places, and that stuff got cold. So anyway, we're still kind of warming up in here. So those were some beginner topics.
I got a good question here.
Yeah, Matt's got a question from you guys.
This is from Freakin' Weekend.
Weekend.
Yeah, how do your courses differ from your videos on YouTube?
How do my courses differ? Wow, that's a true marketing manager over there, Matt. Matt's learning, you guys. That's a real question, though. What's the difference between my YouTube videos and my courses? Well, you still get the same teacher, which is me. So that's the similarity. Same lovable personality most of the 80% of the time. Matt might say a different ratio, but and Jacob would too. But here's the true difference. One, with my courses, you get everything is transcribed, so you basically get a PDF companion that you can print out. So everything's like written out, diagrams, tablature, the whole thing. I have more time, Josh Norco says there, I have more time to go deeper into topics. But the main thing besides that is that a course is a topic, and I teach it just like you would be signing up for like a college class or a music class where we go, lesson 1, lesson 2, lesson 3, and I follow later. That's what you get. I just block someone. I can do that with one finger. It's fun. So it follows a step-by-step like course curriculum, which with YouTube, you type in a topic and you're like, whoa, that's like, it's hard to find what level you're at in a YouTube video. And I'm still really happy with all the YouTube stuff I do. But instead, I take a whole topic, and the courses are many, many hours long. So, in fact, I'm working on an intermediate blues techniques course right now, and I'm thinking it's already probably 6 or 7 hours of stuff. And I go one step after the next step after the next step. So it's a much more guided path. I can guide you through a course as opposed to like a one-off 10-minute YouTube video, which is still great information and stuff. So let me go to something that's from my intermediate blues techniques course, which isn't out yet, but I might as well give you a little taste. There's 2 things that I was just shooting today. So I was already working today, but one of those is the progression, because it's more than one blues song, the Stormy Monday blues progression. So if I had blues in G, a blues in G, a 12-bar blues would be G. You're on the G chord. Then you go to what's called the 4 chord, which would be C. Back to the G. Alex Holden says, buy the SRV course, people. Thank you so much. Then you'd have the 5 chord, 4 chord, and then the G. So that'd be the basic structure. You could do it with chords. But the basic structure is a 1 chord, 4 chord, 5 chord. So the Stormy Monday progression is a little more detailed and also a little more interesting, but what's fun is you can still play the blues scale over it, right? So check this out. First off, the 5 chord in the turnaround is an augmented chord, which sounds fancy, but it sounds like this. It's gonna sound familiar. It's also in the Oh Darling by the Beatles, lots of blues. It's a little jazzier of a chord. Sounds like this. Oh, darling. Right, like that kind of thing. But not for that, but for Stormy Monday, you'd have this D augmented chord. And then a classic G7. C9 chord with a little half step leading chord, just a half step up down, which is a cool thing. So G, then, and then check this out, G7, up a half step and back. Just little extra little things like that. Then the C9 again. And when it goes back to the 1 chord, it does this whole fun thing. None of the chords are hard, but check it out. Would you hear that in Little Wing, by the way? Just throwing that out there. Then, pretty cool. 1 chord, 4 chord, 1 chord, but then that augmented. And even though there's like jazzy stuff going on, what's fun about the blues is that the pentatonic and kind of the blues scale works over that. So check it out. I'm just going to loop that progression. Just another thing I recommend for students. A just cheap looper pedal is like one of the best. It's the best practice purchase you can make. So check it out. That fun part. Said it sounds like the Allman Brothers, and yes, Allman Brothers did a version of that. They didn't write it, but yeah, Stormy Monday, Allman Brothers did it. And also, I saw your comment there, Troy. Now, Troy, if I was like the jaded, jaded guy with 2 billion views on YouTube, I'd be like, oh, I don't remember you. But of course I remember you, Troy. Troy Guibert. Now, Troy, you're probably pretty old now, but Troy was one of my elementary school students chiming in here. I appreciate you, buddy. I hope you and your family are great. It's always, I remember you very, very well. and you were a little kid, and your parents were super nice. I mean, I remember your mom was very nice. You guys gave me, one of the things about the students, I would go to their house and teach them. And the ones that gave me snacks were my favorite. and so I remember those well. And your mom always had nice snacks for me, snack time. But Troy, give my best to you, but also my best to your family. So I taught Troy in Carlsbad, California, and didn't know what it's a good lesson because I was kind of really struggling to support my family back then. I was working nonstop. I had plenty of employment, but it was just hard, to do it as a musician. And so you guys were great to me. But also, like, if I could go back in time and tell my 30-something-year-old self there to just keep going, and you never know what's right around the corner. And so I still have to remind myself of that today, that you don't know what's around the corner. You got to not give up on things, and keep putting all the effort in, because it really, around the time I was teaching Troy there, I was kind of questioning a lot of the decisions I had made about doing guitar for a living. Not that I didn't love guitar, playing guitar, teaching guitar, but more that maybe I should have just gotten like a business job, and then I would have enjoyed just guitar as like a separate passion, but then did guitar as just a passion and not combine it with actually paying a mortgage, paying for your kids' diapers and food and groceries and all that. So, but if I could tell myself back then when I was teaching Troy that, don't worry, just keep on this path, and, you're going to be surprised with how well it works out. And that's true. So thanks, Troy. Thanks for the reminder too. And yeah, so I imagine, you got to be like 23 years old, 25 years old, something like
He was
that.
at 27.
27? Wow. Oh man. I have seen some of those little kids that are like parents now, and that's crazy. That stuff's really crazy. So anyway, nice to hear from you, man. I don't know if you're still playing, but I think I taught you enough to where you could play and have fun still. So hopefully, if not, that's fine too.
27 is a dangerous year for guitar players.
we won't get into the 27 club today, Matt. Okay, so that was something that I was just teaching, literally shooting today. Someone said, Brian Lindsay, was it kind of scary hanging with Fantastic Negrito? I love his music, but man, he seems intense. He is intense, but Matt can attest to it. When I do those interviews, which, by the way, I'm stopping the interviews, everybody. Announcement right here. 2025, not going to do the interviews anymore. Hint, hint. Fantastic Negrito, amazing artist, right? Oh yeah, Troy says the foundation stick forever. That's awesome, dude. Awesome. So nice to hear from you. So, Fantastic Negrito. I meet these people in the house before we come up here into the studio. So, I try not to ask them questions that are going to be in the video. So, I don't want to get to know them too well. I want that on camera. Although I'm not doing the interviews anymore, so it doesn't matter at all now. I can just meet people and not worry about it. But, Fantastic Negrito walked in, and I'd seen footage of him, and I agree, he seems very intense. And yeah, he's got an intensity to him. But he walked in, and I'm not like this with every single person, but we absolutely just had a connection. I mean, you can feel it a little bit on camera, but forget that. I'm just saying, like, person to person, he's got kids, I've got kids. He's older than me. But so he's like, farther along in life. He's had some major trial and tribulations. He got hit by or he was in a car accident, he was in a coma, had to relearn stuff, like, had a huge record deal that didn't pan out. There's all these ups and downs that he's already had in his life. But I'd say we definitely just had a connection, Maybe he's like that with other, he probably has that with people. And that's why he's so charismatic, is that there's just something about him that you connect to. But we just totally hit it off. I felt like a kindred spirit, like a love for him. He's a super big heart guy. And so I didn't feel any, his music's intense and his performing is intense, but I didn't feel intensity in that way at all. No intimidation. I just felt this like connection and like a brother vibe with him. So I really love him. And it was we were only hanging out for like 3 hours. Someone asked, why aren't you doing the interviews anymore? It's actually not, there's no drama behind it. It's just they don't do as well as my lessons. And they also happen to be the most expensive thing for me to produce. So between them not getting good views and being the most expensive thing I produce, there's a definition of insanity, which is repeating the same things and expecting a different result.
There's like 5 more left.
There's some in the can.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and we've got another one with Grace Bowers. Mm-hmm. So I won't say never, but I'm really just kind of like, I was saying that really so I could talk about it. And you fell into the trap.
Because David Gilmour won't say.
What?
We can't get David Gilmour, that's why.
I can't get David Gilmour, Sting, or Rick Rubin, or Derek Trucks. Can't get those guys. So I'm just gonna do what people want, And I love teaching, so I have no problem with it. But I'm just saying, it's like I put so much effort into those, and then they don't do well. So really, that's all that I have to say about that. So real quick, I did a short that did really well. Once again, right? So I do an interview, and it gets 1,500 views, and then I sit on my couch for 40 seconds and teach a blues turnaround, and that gets 200,000 views. So it's just like it's really being dictated to me. But so check it out. I taught this thing. Can be an intro or a turnaround. So you have like. So that did really well. You can see that on my short. It's going to be in the intermediate blues techniques course that's not out yet. But I got a good variation that I'll show you right now, just to give it to you. So you hit an E chord, so blues in E, like that. And this time you take the middle finger and put it on the 2nd fret G string, and you slide it up to the 4th fret. Oops. Not like that, like this. But get your index finger on a half step lower on the B string. So the other one I taught you was the G and high E. A variation could be. And so I'm playing 4th fret G and 3rd fret B. And you just hold that shape and you go G, B, G. Half step down, G, B, G. Half step down, G, B, G. Hammer on the 1st fret G. So just a variation. Shadow Man. That's like from The Princess and the Frog. Because that was my daughter's favorite movie when she was little. The Shadow Man.
Great music.
Oh, I love that movie too. Shadow Man. He says, "Hey Marty, can you do a guitar tutorial video on Peter Cetera's Glory of Love?" Do you know that song, Matt? I don't think you do. Real quick, Can someone tell me what movie that's from? No one? No. It's from Karate Kid Part 2. Because I'm old. I was there. Okay. Oh, yeah, Shadow Man. Of course, Shadow Man got it. He was asking. My dad loved... my dad's still alive, but like when I was little, my dad loved the band Chicago. And that's Peter Cetera was the bass player and singer in Chicago during the late 70s and 80s. He turned them into kind of a more ballad kind of, or he had huge hits with ballads in Chicago. And then Glory of Love is him solo. But I was just thinking, someone said Over the Top. Yeah, it might as well be. No, but that's, the Over the Top ballad is Kenny Loggins, and it's Meet Me Halfway. I lived, not even proud of it, but like, if you need someone to do 80s, 90s pop culture trivia, I'm your guy. I will win. I will win hands down. I promise. But so I saw my dad, Chicago played every year in Southern California at this, it's not there anymore. It was called Irvine Meadows. And he would take me every year. And so I've seen like Peter Cetera like a bunch of times live, which is just funny that you asked that. It just, that's what I think of, is going to see Chicago with my dad and not really like being into it. But my dad took me to some other really cool concerts. Chicago was still good, but it wasn't like really my thing. Yeah, it was like classic. They almost invented yacht rock, some of their songs. Let's see, what was the one? Because I have the Glory of Love in my head, but it would be like, everybody needs a little time away. Da-da-da-da, for the one that you love. Let's see, you suck playing the guitar and you teach music wrong too. Okay, so... let's see.
Got a good question.
So yeah, so you know, I'm not gonna. Yeah, you gotta just. I'm the one here with almost 5 million subscribers. What have you done, hater? What have you created other than saying some stupid comment? That's how I can sit here and with my head high, is I've helped millions of people play guitar, and you are just nothing. Live with that. Sleep on that. Okay. Blah 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 blah. What question?
And this is a good one.
Okay, Matt's got a question here.
Sophia Toby, you're gonna like this one.
Sophia,
how much should I practice guitar as a beginner guitarist?
how much should you practice guitar as a beginner guitarist? Well, I have a saying: 5 minutes a day. 5 minutes a day. You're going to start hearing more about that. 5 minutes a day is all it takes. But 5 minutes a day doesn't mean pick up the guitar and go, okay, 5 minutes is up. It's taking a topic that is applicable to something that you need, like a goal that you're trying to achieve, and focused, concentrated, true focused, concentrated practice for 5 minutes straight. And then let it go. And so what that means, though, is that, yeah, eventually it will take more than 5 minutes to get good at guitar. But if you give yourself the goal of 5 minutes a day, every single day, it's not very intimidating sounding because 5 minutes is very short. 2, consistency is super important. So when I say 5 minutes a day, it sounds like not very intimidating. So, because the more intimidated you are, you're like, well, I'm not even going to pick up the guitar because you're just overwhelmed and intimidated. So instead, 5 minutes a day means it's easy. It's not too overwhelming. It doesn't take up a bunch of your time. It forces you to pick up the guitar every day. But then as you do those 5 minute sessions of concentrated practice, whenever you have one of those little breakthroughs, the breakthrough where something becomes easier should actually start to be fun, and you won't even think about the 5 minutes. And hopefully some, not all, but some of those 5 minute sessions can become an hour long or 2 hours long, right? So that's why I say 5 minutes a day is what you just want to like set the bare minimum goal. 5 minutes a day. You can do it. It's easy. But every once in a while, when you hit one of those little past those plateaus, that 5 minutes could become like an hour and a half or longer, because you're having fun with it and you've learned more of the song, etc. So good question. And I do say 5 minutes a day, but it's more of a philosophy than a true statistic. Adrian says, the breakthroughs are so joyous. You're so right. Yes. I never timed how much I practiced guitar. When I could like play one of my favorite songs, I just played it forever, because I was like, I'm playing one of my favorite songs right now. And time just goes out the window. You're not even thinking about time. You're just like in that flow state. So that's why I say that. Okay, so I did some beginner tips. I did the blues Stormy Monday progression. I also did an alternate turnaround, just like from one of my popular shorts recently. Two of my more intermediate courses that I also just am proud of. And there's a difference between arrogance and being proud of something you've done, you know? My newest course is inspired by Stevie Ray Vaughan and Texas Blues. And so there's some things in there that I really go deep into for many, many chapters. One is that classic, like, pride and joy kind of rhythm. And it's multiple elements that I deconstruct, and then you put them back together to get this kind of thing. So the Stevie Ray Vaughan course, you can get that. You can see the pinned link down there for the Black Friday sale. It ends Wednesday. I haven't really been specific about the ending of it. Soon. No, so that ends Wednesday. Also, you know, I had been using my email list just to let you guys know when I'm doing these sales and stuff. And look, I'm proud of the courses, so I don't mind recommending them. I don't mind doing a sale for them. I don't mind asking you to buy them, because I believe in them, and I think they will help you. And so I'm proud of that. So I don't feel bad about that at all. I'm not trying to be deceptive or trick people. You don't have to buy it. You don't have to be subscribed to my email list. You can unsubscribe. But something that that I'm going to do more of is just use it as a more communication tool, since like all the YouTube and everything's so algorithm based now. I'm live every Saturday at 1 o'clock California time. But so I'm just going to start using that email to be in touch with my direct audience a little bit more, since the kind of way we do this has changed a bit. So I'm not always going to be asking you to buy stuff or do the used car salesman thing, but I'm going to like stay in touch with you more, so I can try and get more direct contact with the online students. And so one that I sent Wednesday, maybe, I said the email was like about the power of guitar. You could let me know in the comments if you actually read that, because I told a story, and multiple responses liked the story, but also there was more than one response about saying back to me, well, that story must be true, because it's just too weird and too specific to be made up. And I can happily say, yes, it's a true story. I'll tell the story real quick, because what I do is I try and hold a topic for 30 minutes or so here. I usually pick a topic out for these live streams, and I go for about 30 minutes. And then once the 30 minutes are up, I'm like, okay, I taught you guys something, or I tried to. And now I'll just answer questions or play along with you guys, and all that. But I'll tell the story now, not to everyone that's had it or that read it. But I used to tour in bands, and one band that I toured in the most just played this, like they're playing tonight, I think, or something in Arizona. You cannot defeat them. They will never. I don't think there's one original member of the band anymore, which is really fun. That like is a band that still exists and no one is the original member. That's like Leonard Skinner. And I have a great Leonard Skinner story now that I'll put in. I'll tell you guys that one too, but that'll be in another email story. But so I was touring in a band. I joined this band. It's how I ended up in San Diego. I was in Orange County, is where I grew up, Southern California, outside of Los Angeles. Auditioned. I knew a drummer in LA. He grew up with this band called Wise Monkey from Arizona. They moved to San Diego. Anyone that's familiar with Arizona and San Diego know that there's like a straight shoot. A lot of Arizona people go to San Diego. There's like a straight line. Do you know about that in your touring days? I don't know. But there's like a straight line from Arizona to San Diego that you can take. So a lot of Arizona people are familiar with San Diego and move there and stuff like that. The 8. Finney says I 8. Yeah. So anyway, so I was in this Orange County, auditioned for this San Diego band called Wise Monkey Orchestra. I get the gig, and I immediately go on tour with them. They're all strangers to me. The horn section of that band are now in Slightly Stupid. So, in fact, Slightly Stupid opened for us. That's how old I am. Although I'm actually the same age as Slightly Stupid. But the horn players of Wise Monkey are now in Slightly Stupid. And then another drummer from another band in that scene has been the drummer in Slightly Stupid, Ryan Moran. He's been in Slightly Stupid for over 20 years. Another really famous saxophone player plays with them when he's not doing other stuff, Carl Denson. So there's this whole little scene I was part of, and Slightly Stupid is definitely the like breakout band from that scene. And it was other bands during the original time, some of the like kind of best like drummer from this band and the horns from my band and all this stuff kind of all ended up in Slightly Stupid because they, made it a lot farther in their careers. And congrats to them. And I love Slightly Stupid. They're good dudes, really great guys. Okay, but so I was in this band Wise Monkey, and we toured the ski towns every winter. In fact, I'm not sure why, they had been a band for maybe 10 years even at that point when I joined them. So they did a lot of groundwork before I was in the band. But for some reason, Durango, Colorado was like one of the biggest cities that they even, bigger than San Diego. For whatever reason, Durango, Colorado, there was this venue there. It's definitely not called the same thing anymore. Can't remember the name right now. But Durango, Colorado, you just crush it. And so, which also meant like it paid the best. So we would book kind of a ski town tour. And at some point we play in Durango to make most of the money to help support the rest of the tour. And then try and, build up the following around that. So we were in one of these ski towns. I'm pretty sure it was Telluride. And, it's just like the classic ski town vibes, party animals, people just raging in the winter, snowboarders and the fresh pow pow. And there was more than just snow powder, I think, around, not from me, but the party animals. Not me. But if you know what I'm saying, our drummer liked the pow pow. Anyway, so we were in Telluride, and it was a raging night. And, there was this guy there in the audience that was kind of enjoying himself a lot. Like, he was kind of, like, wasted or high or, like, I don't know. He just had that vibe about him that he was, like, on a different plane of existence that night. You could just tell, And so we're playing playing a song, and I can't remember how the song goes, but it was definitely jam band style. So let's pretend it was like, you know. So, and kind of a big Fish style Trey Anastasio or a Grateful Dead, like long stretched out solo, um, and build the solo like I was thinking more like Fish at the time. How Trey could really build the tension up in a solo and stretch it out. So it was kind of that kind of vibe. And I was playing the solo, and a lot of guitar players and musicians, when they start to get into that flow state, playing a big, long psychedelic solo, you close your eyes, right? You're like lost in the moment, close your eyes, doing the whole thing. And so I'm just got my eyes closed, playing this long, that was a Fish riff. So I'm playing this long solo, eyes closed. Next thing I know, that same dude, I open my eyes to this guy bear hugging me, like attacking me on stage. He got on to the stage and tackled me. And I didn't see it coming because one, people don't use, it's the only time that's ever happened to me, one. And two, usually like a rock star has security, so that's why it doesn't happen to them. We were not rock stars, so you don't expect that to happen because no one gives a crap. They're just there to party and everything. My eyes are closed in that email. That was that band. It wasn't that night, but that picture is from that era. That's why I shared it. We didn't have cell phones back then taking a lot of pictures and video, but that's one picture. So anyway, this guy attacks me, and it freaks me out. I mean, I'm terrified. And so I open my eyes, and I'm just like totally thrown off. And our manager and our sound guy just rush up to the stage, and they grab the guy and pull him off of me, and he falls. He hits his head, like he takes a nasty spill. They rip him off of me, and he falls down on the ground. And he gets right back up, and he's just kind of like out of control. And so our manager and sound guy just kind of manhandle him, and he's kind of a big guy too. They pull him to the entrance of the venue, to where the bouncer, security guy, whatever is there, and they tell the guy, they tell the security guy, get this guy out of here. He's out of control. He just attacked our guitar player. He's, he's hitting the sound guy's gear. He's just like out of control. And the bouncer starts laughing. And our manager says, this is not funny. This guy's out of control. And then the bouncer says, no, this is the owner of the club. So yes, that's a true story. And he was on psychedelics, like I think he was on LSD, I think, but he liked my solo, so it was he wasn't trying to hurt me, and he was just trying to he was like hearing the solo and like into it, and he just got up there to try and grab the solo out of my guitar and hug the guitar solo out of me. And he was in one of those other planes of existence. If you've seen the Tenacious D movie, which I'm a big fan of. The Tenacious D movie, you see Jack Black eats the mushrooms, and the reality is he's hugging a tree, and then what he's seeing though is that he's hugging Sasquatch, and then he's like drowning down a river rapids, but then they cut to his vision of it, and he's like, a Sasquatch going down the Strawberry River with Sasquatch in an inner tube. So it's kind of that kind of thing. And so I'm, part of where that story probably came from in Tenacious D. I experienced one of those guys in real time, in real life. And it was really scary at the time, but it makes for a great story in the email. Right, Matt?
That's right.
Okay, so while I'm still here, I saw someone bought my beginner course. I really appreciate that. The Black Friday sale is ending Wednesday, so you can see the pinned comment down there. You can, go to martymusic.com, use the checkout code Black Friday 2024, get 35% off any of the courses, and that ends Wednesday. And I think they really have helped a lot of people, and very happy to have helped, so many people play guitar. It means a lot to me. And I've always used Marty Music as just a positive place for positivity, place for learning guitar. No politics, no nothing else. Which goes back to me saying that I only post for Marty Music, but there's old content of me out there everywhere that I have no control over. So, there's AI versions of me. There's all this shit out there. But Marty Music's all I've done, and I've only ever tried to just be positivity through music, positivity through playing guitar together. That's all my mission is. It's real simple. Rocky Mountain High by John Denver. I haven't done that one. It's probably because he's doing like some intricate finger picking, but I'll work on that one. I'm not good at finger picking. I'm not good at heavy metal. Well, thank you, Tater Dev. John Fields, it was gratitude for you, Marty, jumping out of a box of popcorn. Eyes of a Panther by Steel Panther. I probably won't do that one, just being honest. But I like Steel Panther, though. It's just not really it's not my demographic, I've taught Master of Puppets, but I think I teach it probably in with that first chord or this first chord, and then all the freaking Metallica people say, no, it's this chord. It's the same chord. I'm over it now. And the more lame people, there's a lot of lame people out there. I mean, I try not to let it get to me. But it's pushing me in different directions now because I'm just getting older. I'm just getting over it. I never even set out to be a song tutorial guy. When I was first making YouTube videos, it was all techniques, kind of all intermediate techniques. I come from more blues and classic rock, and jam band stuff. I never set out to teach Metallica. I was never really good at it. Yeah, anyway, that's all I have to say about that. Now I'm Forrest Gump. That's all I have to say about that. Let's see. Philip Holder, you started watching videos when you first picked up a guitar about 6 years ago. I've taught you a lot. Thank you. My dedication. Thank you. Teaching methods. Thank you. I taught thousands of guitar lessons before I made videos, so that helps. Also, I took bad guitar lessons when I was 13. The teacher didn't teach me the way I should have been taught. And so I always used that as kind of my guiding light when I started to teach, which was many years later. But when I started to teach, I was like, I'm going to do what I wish someone would have done for me that first time. And so I kind of base all of my teaching off of the negative learning experience I had when I first started taking lessons and gave it up. And then here I am, look what I'm doing now for a living for most of my life now. And yet I didn't even like elementary school music. In elementary school, I didn't like those music lessons. And the first guitar lessons I took sucked and I gave it up. But I was too young to realize that they were bad lessons. I thought that I wasn't good at guitar and that it's something I shouldn't do. Not because they were bad lessons, because I was a little kid. So my whole mission here for the last longer than 17 years, 17 years has just been video making, but the last over 20 years or even 30 years now, last 30 years, all I wanted to do was just, especially a little kid who's never played before, all I would do is just immediately remember those crappy lessons I took at the Laguna Guitar Shop in Laguna Beach. And this is funny. It was at a place called Laguna Guitar Shop in Laguna Beach. Good guitar store, but the guitar teacher, they were bad lessons. And then I had graduated college with a music degree and had been teaching guitar for about 3 years or so. And I went I'm naming names. Well, not people names, but I then became a guitar player in bands and had started teaching guitar. And I went back to the Laguna Guitar Shop. So I was probably about 20, thinking I was about 23 years old, 24 years old. And I went back in there, and I had already been now teaching guitar for about 3 or 4 years in New Mexico, moved back to California, went to that same store. Guess what? Guess. They treated me the same way as when I took those lessons earlier, and they laughed me out of the place. And I said, no, I think I'm a really good guitar teacher. What do I have to do to audition to be a guitar teacher here? I'll do some free lessons, but I really think I can be a good guitar teacher for you guys. They were like, laughed me out of the store. So just remember, Laguna Guitar Shop laughed me out of the store when I wanted to be a guitar teacher there. It's funny how the tides turns tables. I bet those guitar teachers know my lessons now. True story though, Matt. Remember that story. I won't say the name of the store, but that's another story I need to tell. But that's okay. It's totally okay. They didn't know who I was, so. But I think they could have been. It was one guy in particular, John Houston or John Hassan, whatever. But he was like the busiest teacher there. So what he was really doing was like cock blocking any other person that wanted to be a teacher there. John Houston. He was very rude to me, very dismissive of me, kind of puffing his chest out almost, like really intimidating me. And I'll never forget it because it kind of hurt my feelings. I'm sensitive. John Houston So, that's really close. Yeah, he laughed me out of the place. Okay. What's my favorite guitar? Gibson ES335. If you look at that old email when I played in Wise Monkey, I had it. I wish I still had that ES335. That was for financial reasons. I don't have that anymore. But that was always my favorite guitar. I love the F-holes. I love the little bit of extra like sustain and feedback you can get from it. It just always, I love the F-holes, the classic shape. Back to the Future was part of that. Trey Anastasio had his custom guitar with the F-holes. I was into that at the time. So there were so many reasons. But it was way before I ever knew that I would ever have my own signature one or work with Gibson. Didn't know that was going to happen. So it was my favorite guitar way before I worked with them. Someone said, still live? Yeah, I'm still live. Thank you, Kurt. SMFW, hell yeah, Front Street. Telecaster, I love Telecasters. That's a great thing about being about guitar. You don't have to just have one. The question was, what's my favorite? And now especially it's my favorite because I have my own signature Epiphone ES335. So, I mean, so many reasons why it's my favorite now, but it was even before. But I love Telecasters. I love Stratocasters. One of the coolest things ever about Gibson as a company that I work with, who, I'm helping promote all the time, is they've never told me once or stipulated that I could only play Gibsons in the videos. I can play a Fender anytime I want. I can play any other guitar that I want at any time. It was never dictated to me, and that's really cool of them. And you know what happens when you're cool like that? You go out of your way to play it even more because they were so cool about it. So, whatever, any big corporation's going to have like a positive side, a negative side, like bad experiences, good experiences. But like my experience is so good with them. And I've worked with I've met with Fender. I've worked with Taylor guitars before that. And I've, met pretty much every guitar related company. I used to play Heritage guitars. They wouldn't even loan me one. Heritage wouldn't even loan me a guitar when I was on YouTube. Or they said they would and then wouldn't respond. Like, yeah. Because I've seen some comments where like, you don't use your heritage anymore, blah, blah, blah. It's like, yeah, you don't know what I've experienced. You know, I don't say every single, you know, I've already like said too much negative stuff in this live stream. Matt, how negative was I today?
Nah, you're good.
I'd say I was 90% positive.
Yeah.
But I'm only human, and I'm getting older. And you know, older guys do get grumpier when they get older. I was just saying that to my mom on the phone earlier because my stepdad's grumpier now. He's a great guy. Don't get me wrong. My mom's watching right now. Hi, Mom. I'm just talking about. We were laughing about it, not anything negative. My dad, my own dad. He's always had a grumpy side to him. But yeah, you know, there's something to that term grumpy old man, and I'm on my way there. Do I like Tool? Oh, here's a Tool story. I didn't tell anyone this because I only just remembered it when you said Tool. I saw Maynard at the airport on my flight back here, and I did not talk to him, but I saw him, and I was like, oh, there's Maynard over there. No one... He was so unassuming, like no one knew it was Maynard. I mean, I knew, but let's see. Yeah, it was cool. No, he was just one of the thousands of people walking through the airport. Enter Sandman. I've got a lesson for it. Once again, the Metallica people kind of ruin it. The top critical Metallica people on YouTube, guitar players, have ruined any Metallica I'm going to pretty much ever do again. So to blame them, because, you know, the same notes exist all over the neck. So let's say if I went, you know, it's also, right? It's right there, or you know, the notes are all over the same notes exist everywhere on the neck. And then also the more guitar players in a band, sometimes I'm like, if you can already play Metallica well enough to say I'm not doing it right, then you don't need my lesson anyway. So you're just there to criticize me. And so I taught so many little kids at their house, you know, like Troy from earlier. I taught so many little kids. Sometimes I teach it a little bit easier way. It's the same notes. I teach it a little bit easier way because I'm trying to help the beginners out there to play one of their favorite bands, you know. I don't care if you already play Metallica really well. You shouldn't even watch my tutorial anyway. Right, Matt?
That's right.
Okay. More positivity. Here's some shout outs. Richard 1206. When you think you can rap. Human tripod. Hey, I'm reading. That's like, oh my God, there was this hilarious video I saw of, what's a Peloton?
Mm-hmm.
And so they do like live Peloton classes. And, okay, Johan, you asked for it. Blocked forever. I already said I go for a half hour, I play, I teach. Now it's just free time. So leave. If you don't like it, leave. There was this Peloton clip because they do like live classes and people were commenting in with like the like really bad usernames like IP Freely and Seymour Butts and like those are the safer ones. But it's a compilation of like the trainers like, all right, I see you, blah, blah, blah. And then they hear themselves say it out loud and they know they got caught saying something really, really dirty. And Human Tripod reminded me of that. That's really funny. Marco says, do I ever play Gordon Lightfoot? I don't think I've taught any Gordon Lightfoot, but that was like one of my dad's favorites. The Anna Fitzgerald. The wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald. I just think of my dad with that. I would probably do that. The final countdown. Jesse Pinkman. I'll probably give all the ad revenue now to the final countdown song because I just sung it. Cool Samuel. He's gonna get his first electric guitar. MPB1385. Thank you so much. Someone said it's going by fast now. Someone said, should I learn sheet music? Only if you really want to. If you read sheet music really well, it's great. It'll help you become a better musician. So I'm not saying don't, but reading sheet music it's a skill in its own right, and it's not really needed that much. If you read sheet music really well and you want to be like a professional musician, reading as a guitar player would be best to be like in Broadway musicals down in the pit, classical musician that's playing with a conductor, or studio musician who, a producer or a movie score, they want someone to come in there and play it as quickly and as well as possible. So if you read well, that's going to help you with that. But as far as thinking it's going to make you like a shredding guitar player, it's not really needed. Where's My Mind by the Pixies? Just bought a Fender Mustang. Do you know Pony Bradshaw? Do you know that?
Nope.
Nope. A minor, E minor, G, D. Edmund Fitzgerald. Awesome. Have I painted my guitar? No, I have not, but I did a video a few years ago where we built a guitar from a kit, and then I had my friend paint it custom, and then we gave it away. So I don't have that guitar, but I have done that. Ben Holcomb, I love you more because I get to have fun. I get to play guitar. I get to pay my bills. My daughter's in college. I get to pay the college tuition with this. The $60 that I made in this video, I can give my daughter some book money. 70-year-old trying to learn after 30 years. Thank you, sir. Have fun. Just have fun. Good way to learn how to sing while playing. Actually, that's a good question. Singing while playing, you want to not worry about the rhythm at first and also see what lyric is with what chord change. So imagine there's no heaven, it's right. You want to study where the chord changes on the lyrical word. That's one good tip, I think. This is the longest live stream I think I've ever done. What's one riff I play every time I pick up the guitar? It'd be like this. Something like that, like an E blues lick. Always do it. Something that, Martin Harris says dirty swamp lick. Yes, something like that. Favorite mode? That's easy. Mixolydian. The Brian scale. I miss and love Brian. I need to see him again. The Brian mode. He would love that. I'm going to tell him that you guys said that. All right, that's it. Have a great, I don't know, is it a holiday weekend?
I would say so.
Okay, have a great holiday week. See, I don't even know where I'm at or anything. Matt has to tell me all these things. Have a great holiday weekend if you celebrate this holiday or any other holiday. I love you guys. Thank you for watching. Appreciate you supporting Marty Music. Just know, I've been doing this a long time, but the last 9 years, approaching 10 years, I've exclusively only done Marty Music. So if you see stuff out there, like whether it's some thing on Facebook saying I'm giving away free guitars and my lips are moving with CGI, it's a good bet that wasn't really me. That wasn't on my bingo card, was CGI lipped Marty scamming people and then people getting mad at me for it. Didn't have that one on my list, but appreciate you guys. Yeah, so, on Instagram, Marty Schwartz, blue check mark. Facebook, Marty Schwartz, blue check mark. Website, martymusic.com only. Emails, if you're getting emails, if you get an email and it's not from Marty Music and it specifically says Marty Schwartz here from Marty Music, it was not sent by me. Websites and courses, if it wasn't from martymusic.com, it wasn't sold by me. YouTube, it's called Marty Music. Do they have blue check marks on YouTube? Mm-hmm. Blue check mark, Marty Music on YouTube, that's me only. And that's what I would ask you to support. But, if you see some pirated video of me or, another thing, actually, anything where I'm not with a full beard. I only got the full beard when Marty Music started. So if you see me without the full beard, that's not something that I'm selling to you. Although maybe some of the Marty Music courses I don't have the beard yet, but I can't even remember because it's been so long. Hey, Mad Red. Let's see. So that's it. Anything else, Matt?
I think that's it, man.
Thank you, Matt. I had Thanksgiving this year with Matt and his wife, kids, and in-laws. Mm-hmm. And I was saying to my own family that it was kind of liberating because I had no family history at all. I just got to watch from the sidelines. And no, they were very sweet. I really appreciated that. And do I have any events or anything coming up? Mm-mm. Just the Black Friday sales ending on Wednesday. Gary Moose, thank you for the super chat. So we're gonna sign out. I've still got leftovers, actually. I was saving it for a dinner. I'm gonna do that for dinner tonight. It's a turkey leg. I'm gonna eat the bone too. Just crunch into it. No. That's it. How do you end this thing? Oh yeah, there's a button. We'll see you guys soon. Bye.